Ever wondered what makes TV so powerful in Jamaica? Time to find out. Welcome to Global TV Group 358, where television meets innovation. We're not just about shows, we're about shaping society. In Jamaica, TV keeps you informed, connects diverse voices, and supports democracy. Imagine a Jamaica where broadcasters unite, sharing data and collaborating globally. That's us, a unified voice in the TV industry. Did you know TV advertising is still king? It drives website traffic, boosts brand equity, and powers integrated campaigns. Even in an age of digital, TV stands strong, resilient in tough times. Our global TV deck is your treasure trove of insights and data. With charts, graphs, and success stories, it's your guide to impactful TV advertising. Curious to learn more? Visit our website and see how Global TV Group 358 keeps television at the heart of entertainment in Jamaica. Get ready to binge watch the future.
For me again, you can't for me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. Can't buy scallion, we can't buy time. You can't for me again. Can't for me again. You can't for me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. You touch up line and a resort to cry. You can't for me again.
What people do eat no money, what they at you, eat no at you. Covid money, miss away in the year little rat you. Use the youth, them money, waste and must a man to statue. Say me like a catch you, but they got in a figure you. Take the spit of money, God and say that is not you. One day the man above me look him, I got a bet. Too much it in the kitchen, some a fly by like a patu. When singers and DJs and social media's coming at you.
It burn me,
300% raise.
it burn me,
Garbage pile of the day.
it burn me,
Give the teacher them
it
raise.
burn me,
I see corruption
it
face.
burn me,
Mash down the people them house.
it burn me,
Every day appear arms out.
it burn me,
Appear money them a thief.
it burn me.
And them a sell out the beach.
Can't for me again, you can't for me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. Can't buy scallion, we can't buy time. You can't for me again. Can't for me again. You can't for me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. You touch up line and a resort to crime. You can't for me again.
Come me say big up all the charities and all of the givers. Some a go like say them powerful, me no make a bigger. The 100 the promises, none of them not deliver. Cut up the youth, they rough and they down in our fever. Member bold money and they lie them tell. Corruption smell and they pocket them swell. When police don't a market like Satan out of hell, go mash up people start and thief for themselves.
It burn me,
Or they treat the market man.
it burn me,
Or them a treat the cat man.
it burn me,
Or they treat the peanut man.
it burn me,
Or them a treat the dirt man.
it burn me,
Or them a treat the soul man.
it burn me,
Or them a treat policeman.
it burn me,
How them a treat soldier man.
it burn me.
How them a treat everyone.
Can't for me again, you can't for me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. Can't buy scallion, we can't buy time. You can't for me again.
Stibby-dim day. We in Global TV say certain kind of friend we no keep. And some informer friend we love like. We in Global, bona fake friend and bona thief. We in Global, we not promote them, we not support them. Look at them on the cheek, come here represent for. We in Global TV, check it.
Good morning and welcome to your At a Glance program. This is Global TV Group. Good morning and welcome. Is the PNP about to go into disintegration? Could the division in the People's National Party get wider in a general election year? Unseating Mark Golden, if it is a real plot at the moment, would only serve Prime Minister Andrew Holness a powerful third term in Jamaica, one which will have a lot of people head turning in disgust of continuation of wholesale corruption. Good morning and welcome. Thank you all for joining. Good morning to TikTok. Good morning to IG. And yes, good morning to YouTube. How you all doing this morning? Pardon me if I don't do your roll calls this morning. Kind of not in the mood to go on. But, as I know, me always catch up over Patriotic Jamaican page. And Patriotic Jamaican put out some information last night about a possible PNP plot. What makes it sound so credible is that of the issue that was raised by Dennis Gordon, I think, was it last week or earlier this week? And I think every information within this silly season is useful paying attention to. We're going to get into that straight away. I'm not going to give you all of it. But if you want to watch all of it, you can go over to Patriotic Jamaican page after we finish and watch the entire video and have your opinion on it. I'm bringing this to my audience for information purposes, as well as I will have my own opinion on certain things that was said in the information he put out. So before because this morning, we're also going to go back to the social housing issue. Indigent social housing, or the Prime Minister's new social housing project. Because Desmond McKenzie said, it's not nice that wins election. So we're going to try and see this morning if Desmond McKenzie can tell us what other than noise that has been winning election in our country for the past 8 decades. What other than noise that is fueling the politics of our country? I don't think it's promises or hard work, is it? Let us get into this piece of information. We'll listen to some of it, and I'll give you my opinion on it, on certain names that came up in his broadcast. Let's go for it.
PNP coup, 3 powerful players secretly plotting to remove Mark Golding. The names will shock you. What if I told you Mark Golding, the man who was supposed to be Jamaica's next prime minister, doesn't even have the full support of his own party? 3 powerful figures inside the PNP allegedly plotting behind closed doors to secretly remove him from leadership. And with election year 2025 right around the corner, the timing couldn't be worse. But who really wants him gone? Is this just internal party politics as usual, or are we witnessing the start of a PNP coup? Stay locked, because by the end of this video, you will know every name involved and how this betrayal could destroy Mark Golding's dream of becoming Jamaica's next prime minister. Hey, patriotic internet friends and family, welcome back to the channel. In this video, the rise of Mark Golding, but not everyone was happy about it. Mark Golding became PNP president in 2020, but from day one, whispers were swirling that certain big players inside the PNP never really rated him like that, especially the ones from Region 3, which covers Kingston and St. Andrew, basically the beating heart of the PNP base. The secret plot to take down Mark Golding, Region 3 detractors versus the leader. Over the last few months, the tension inside the PNP has been boiling beneath the surface. Multiple reports have been coming out that Region 3 members have been holding secret meetings to undermine Mark Golding's leadership. Secret meetings undermine? That sounds serious. According to trusted political sources, certain PNP power players believe Golding is too weak to lead the party to victory against Andrew Holness and the JLP in 2025. Allegedly, sources even told the Gleaner them want him gone before the election call. But here's where the plot gets juicy. I will not talk juicy beef. Allegedly, the secret plan was to pressure Golding to step down before the next PNP annual election that was held in last September of 2024 and replace him with someone they can control. PNP Civil War live and direct. What this means for the 2025 election. Mark Golding's next move. Let's be real. The worst thing that can happen to any political party before an election is internal civil war. Mark Golding is already trailing Andrew Holness by 6 points, and according to the Dan Anderson polls, 65% of Jamaicans say they are going to vote for Andrew in the coming election in September. So both of the polls, them Andrew lead in the latest polls. And now he has to fight off secret enemies from inside his own party. It not get no worse than that. If Mark Golding wants to survive this coup attempt, here's what he needs to do right now. 1. Call out the betrayal publicly. Put the snakes on blast and let the PNP base know who's really fighting against him from within. You hear that, Mark? Don't keep it a secret. Make we, the public, and the wider Jamaica know what go on. 2. Rebuild the PNP unity narrative. Start traveling the country, holding public meetings, and showing the people that the PNP is one united force going into the next election. 3. Fire back with new blood. Bring in younger, fresh voices into key positions and sideline the old guards who's trying to sabotage him behind closed doors. So these are just the first 3 of 9 strategic power moves where Mark Golding can use as PR damage control to stay ahead of this narrative and take control back of his party. So continue watching to hear the other 6. We'll come up further down in the video. So comment and tell me if you agree with me and if what I say make logical sense. But the big question is, will Mark Golding be able to survive this political betrayal? Or will Region 3 succeed in toppling him before the next election? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Should Mark Golding clean house before the election, or will the PNP self-destruct from the inside? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If you're enjoying this breakdown so far, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more Jamaican political drama, and turn on your post notifications. Because trust me, the PNP versus JLP war is just getting started. Alright, so make we continue, cause we still have the 3 names them forget to, further down in our video. War is in the air within the PNP.
My message tonight, I put on the war paint. Incumbent leader, I'm glad you're here.
I want you to pay attention closely to this particular part from Dennis Gordon.
At the REC today, Comrade Webley was very passionate, and I put on notice, and I'm now saying it with you present, that those persons who continue to undermine even your elevation to the Prime Minister of this country, we're going to take action. Time come now. It has to stop. I don't care who you are. I don't care about your history. I am appealing for unity.
The internal revolt. Who wants Golding out? 3 names keep coming up in backdoor conversations. Imagine running a race, and just as you're about to sprint to the finish line, your own teammates start tripping you up. Sounds crazy, right? Well, welcome to Mark Golding's reality. With the general elections looming, the PNP leader isn't just battling Andrew Holness and the JLP, he's got political snipers within his own party. The Region 3 faction is making moves to undermine him. And the worst part, the clock is ticking. So what's really going on? And can Mark Golding outmaneuver his own party before it's too late? Let's break it all down. The power struggle. Mark Golding, the man at the helm of the People's National Party, PNP, is supposed to be the one leading his troops into battle against the ruling Jamaica Labour Party, JLP. But what happens when some of his own soldiers don't want him as their general? The latest political drama within the PNP reveals a growing rift, a silent but deadly resistance brewing inside the party's Region 3 stronghold, which includes St. Andrew Southeastern and St. Andrew Southern and Kingston Central. Region 3 leaders, key power brokers in the PNP, aren't exactly throwing their full support behind Golding. In fact, some are actively working against him. And let's not sugarcoat it. This isn't just a disagreement. This is a full-blown coup in slow motion. What's the real motive? So why is there resistance? Is it about policy, ideology, or is it just a classic case of me no like your vibes?
Splash Digi, let me say this. I decide on my platform what is relevant and what isn't. Why would I never go tell Dennis Gordon when he raised the issue of division on a public stage? Him shouldn't raise it. The division that disintegrate the PNP after Portia removal still exists, and we as broadcasters are going to talk about it. It is as simple as that.
Politics. Well, we'll get to that. But first, let's talk about why this is possibly the worst political timing ever. The perfect storm. Worst political timing. In case you have noticed, we're in an election year. And if the latest polls are any indication, Andrew Holness is leading. That means the PNP doesn't just need unity, it needs all hands on deck. Emergency plan to close that gap. But instead of rallying behind their leader, Region 3 power players seem to be sharpening their knives. For stabbing me in back. Or political backstabber them. Some of the biggest names in the PNP's old guard reportedly believe Golding lacks the street cred to connect with traditional PNP supporters. They're pushing for a different direction, a different leader, at a time when the party can least afford instability. The message is clear. Some within the PNP are questioning whether Mark Golding is the right man to lead them to victory. Who are the biggest threats? So who exactly are the key figures steering the pot? And how are they making their moves against Golding? We are getting into the real power players next. The internal revolt. Who wants Golding out? 3 names keep coming up in backdoor conversations. But allegedly, these are the 3 names that people are speculating and circulating but I have no evidence or facts, proof to substantiate such a claim as yet. But these are the names where the streets are called. Allegedly, names like Damian Crawford, the people's champ, but secretly PNP's most dangerous man. Michael Phillips, son of former PNP leader Dr. Peter Phillips, and Angela Brown Burke, a loyal soldier to the old guard. These three power players were always seen as closet Golding critics. But what if I told you they might be doing more than just chatting behind closed doors? These individuals, whether out of personal ambition or genuine concern for the party's future, are creating a serious dilemma for Golding. Their strategy, undermining.
Right, that is where I want to stop it. I get to where I want to address. And that is the big power player names. This is nothing far-fetched. We all know there's a wide division in the party when Portia Simpson lost the 2016 general election and stepped down, and Dr. Phillips took the helm. It is not propaganda. Everything happening in public. You, the PNP supporters and delegates, have a wide share of the blame in this. Angela Brown Burke, the name is not far-fetched. Based on certain information which I may be privy to, that's why Angela Brown Burke fought to become the chairman of the party. It was the plot to unseat Golding then. Miguel Phillips has his gripe from they toss his father aside unceremoniously. Damian Crawford, one who I respect, and one which I would hope to lead Jamaica at a future point when it is possible for him, is Alisa Hanna, is one of the Hannarites. Damian Crawford is a Hannarite. Damian Crawford was never comfortable with Mark Golding from day one. But what I want to say to the Lisa Hannarites of the Jamaica Labour Party, suck it up and move on. Your delegates sold you out. Your delegates sold you out. Uno CMPNP supporters, in 2020, you sold your party out because you gave up some traditional seat to Andrew Holness. Don't go on like the division don't exist in the PNP. Look at how all of what's going on in the country, we still cannot see a united front from the People's National Party in taking on a badly governed Andrew Holness regime. That is how wide the division is. Why do you think people are asking all the while, why Firebrand, like Damian Crawford, does not speak up more as a part of the Mark Golding regime? Because that division still is there and it still exists. Eldog, if you can't listen to the lie this morning, you come back when I no lie I tell. But Uno can't tell me say division not there in the PNP. Uno same PNP. Uno sold the party out. The delegates sold the party out to Peter Bunting. And you, the party voters, in 2020, sold it, the rest of PNP, to Andrew Holness. That is why you end up with a 14 seat. You understand? It's because of division and split in the party, and the Lisa Hanna camp must move on now. The worst political suicide one could ever hope for is to have that level of division in an election year. A division where you would think about or contemplate unseating the leader. Of course, Mark Golding is not doing an awfully great job as a leader of opposition, in my view. You should have all changed Mark Golding. Thanks, Patriotic. You should have all changed Mark Golding from 2022, the latest 2023. It is a political suicide. It is political suicide to even harbor that thought at the moment. Me know PNP don't like objectivity. Like people sit down here every day and talk about one Mark Golding. I'm not PNP. I feel, forget it, say I'm not PNP, I'm not JLP. And every day want to come teach me to be JLP and PNP. I'm never going to be at this point in my life. The division in the People's National Party is there. Whichever one on the PNP want to turn a blind eye, it is there. Dennis Gordon raised it on the stage the other night. The Lawrence Rowe debacle spark an open division. Leave the Mayor Swaby money corruption aside. What a young man named the Lawrence Rowe issue spark a whole new dormant division. The division that was trying to lie dormant from 2016 onwards, because the way how to cheat Dr. Phillips unceremoniously and PNP. It is possible where Miguel Phillips' gripe is coming from. But information I'm privy to, I know Angela Brown-Burke have a gripe. I know Damien is a Lisa Hannah-rights. But what I'm saying to the Lisa Hannah-rights lot, suck it up and move on. You all sold the party to Peter Bunting and Mark Golding. Move on. If you all want to unseat Mark Golding, you wait until after the general election. But if you dare to try it at the moment, it will be the biggest political suicide in Jamaica's political history. And try it if you don't disbelieve me. What you will be doing, PNP, you will be crowning a President Dr. Andrew Michael Holness as a dictator in Jamaica. Try it if you're not bad PNP. Come in, you're dunce, you're half dunce like the Labour right them. You're stuck up into your power grab feeling. Holy Pano, we run around and talk. One mark, G, one mark. You all are hypocrites. Shut up and stop it. You are hypocrite. Because Mark Golding and Dayton Campbell struggle to build a party from where under the same PNP with Peter Bunting money and Andrew Holness money destroy the People's National Party. I want to sell the party leadership to Peter Bunting and Mark Golding. It wasn't me. I want to delegate take money to sell the party. I want to, in a hungry COVID lockdown, took Andrew money for either go to the poll and vote Labour or not to go to the poll at all to vote for PNP. It wasn't me. So make me talk, PNP. You understand? Uno always have a habit of coming over here and try to control people narrative. Uno have internet like me. Uno have phone in our hand like me. If uno want me to help teach uno how to develop uno broadcasting on social media, me will do whatever me can to help uno. What uno cannot come here and do is fix my narrative. What uno can come here and do is turn my platform in a PNP big yard. Coming on, don't like some of uno. What thing to say, it's either or either. I like to sit in the gray area. I don't like the black or white. I like the gray area. Could it be black? Could it be bloody white? Is it black? Is it white? We want to stay in the gray area. It's because so much of us has left the gray area, and either black or white is our biggest problem. Me not in the commotion and the analysis story with uno Jamaica people. Uno promote uno destruction. Uno pay for uno destruction. Uno war for protect uno destruction. God never make me fool like some uno. You understand? So I don't want PNP come on my page and think this is a PNP paid platform. I am not. So when you don't hear me attack, and if you're not comfortable, move on till you don't hear me attack Andrew Holness. Because that's all PNP want to hear. You don't want to hear about how do we make Jamaica a better country. It's how do we get PNP back in a power to come continue the scandals that they left after the last 18 years. Even though you know me not like go back in the past. But how me soon I go on like PNP is this piece of shiny material piece. And you stop it. You sound disgraceful when you do it PNP. We have not known anything other than corruption from the two political parties. Don't come on my page, come go on like Sema Gold and pay me. Me wouldn't take pay for none of them because me like to talk fuckery. And when you talk fuckery, you can't take pay for talking. I told you all last night, Marlon Morgan makes a horrible job. Looks damn well easy. Marlon Morgan does a horrible job well. This is what I mean when I say he done a horrible job well. Everything you will hear from Marlon Morgan is lies, scandal, and spins, but he does it well. Does the PNP have a media machine to take on a propagandist like Marlon Morgan?
The Jamaica Labour Party is denouncing and condemning PNP President Mark Golding for again showing his willingness to mislead and make false statements in his desperation for political power. While on the political platform recently and during the passage of just a few seconds, Mark Golding made 3 false, manipulative, and disingenuous statements about the Stocks and Securities Limited issue, the SSL matter. Golding stated, and I quote, "There was a massive fraud going on in there when Nigel Clark was the Minister of Finance," end quote. In making that statement, the PNP president appeared to pretend to ignore confirmation from local authorities and word from a confessed fraudster.
Top up the screen, please. TikTok.
That fraud at SSL
Jesus
was
Christ,
going on from as far back as 2012 when the PNP was in office. Golding also ignored that the Financial Services Commission, the FSC, had expressed concern about governance at the entity from as far back as 2013 when the PNP administration, of which he, Mark Golding, was a member, was in office. Golding also ignored media reports which quoted relevant documents as revealing that shortly after our sprint legend, Usain Bolt, sent his principal investment to SSL in 2012, it was fleeced. In another vile, reckless, and misleading comment, Mark Golding stated, and I quote, "The Prime Minister had his money in there and take it out before it collapsed," end quote. That, of course, is patently false. The Prime Minister had invested in a bond at SSL from as far back as 2008, which matured in 2021. As a commercial lawyer, Mark Golding knows that when bonds mature, they are often liquidated as a natural course of action. Yet he sought to mislead his audience into believing that Prime Minister Holness took preemptive action somehow ahead of the collapse of SSL. That is nothing but a cheap tactic by Mark Golding, who, in a new law, has resorted to peddling via the political platform false information, and of course is spreading so via PNP bloggers and vloggers on social media. In a third distasteful and misleading comment, Mark Golding remarked, and I quote yet again, "It pains my heart what the government is doing to the great Usain Bolt," end quote. The fact is, the government of Jamaica has taken unprecedented action in leaving no stone unturned in a bid to secure justice for all investors in SSL, including, of course, our sporting icon, Usain Bolt. Golding made his...
You know it's all lies and political spins, don't you? But Marlon Morgan does it well, one has to agree. Or certainly, I agree that Marlon Morgan does a horrible job well, as Nigerians would say. Does the People's National Party have a media machine which is important in their whole political spinning? I am not coming to want nobody walk with fire, go say me ask the PNP if you come tell lie. I am not in any way asking the People's National Party to come out here and lie and spin. Because I am not of the view that us independent broadcasters, some of us do, the ones who are political broadcasters or political vloggers, they just run political narrative. But when you have independent people like me, Carlos, patriotic Jamaican, we bring you information so you can make an informed choice. We are not here to cloud your brain and to tell you that you must hold on to whatever continue to destruct our country, which is political tribalism. What I'm saying to the People's National Party is that the Jamaica Labour Party is doing so badly that they have given you tools after tools after tools, but you have failed to use them. The new social housing disgrace. The PNP addressed it in a fine writing. One of the things that an opposition would have and ought to have done this time, based on what we have found out, or what they knew about this new social housing and the indigent social housing project, and were quietly silent to. Now that Desmond McKenzie came out and said it publicly, and we as broadcasters pick up on it, the PNP, with such a major scandal in our country, where we find out that the government is using such said project to strip away poor people's land, the PNP hasn't properly addressed it. But what the PNP has not also done is tell the Jamaican people, if they will continue to run the said program as they are being run under the JLP regime, which we have identified is stealing people land. And we're going to let Andrew Holness and Desmond McKenzie explain to you again, because them say we lie, we despicable, we mushu, and all that. Make it come out of the official good people them mouth, we don't tell lie. Make it come out of the good people them mouth, we don't tell lie. Can't know say over here so we walk and love, tell lie, pluck up mischief, and all that jazz. You get me find the Prime Minister and Desmond McKenzie. I tell the lie them, or I talk up the truth. Well, when you see one turn around and say, "A we," I walk and make up lie. So the PNP them not clean off this issue because as Her Majesty's opposition, who we paid handsomely to represent us as the opposition, to speak up for us, they became very silent when we start find out so the government is ripping us off. And the PNP not even holds the respect to tell us that the way the social housing project is being run at the moment, a PNP government will scrap the way it's being run, protecting vulnerable people of their land and asset. Let Desmond McKenzie explain to you the social
indigent housing program of the government of Dr. Holness, and I'm really...
Let Desmond tell the lie. Me not like people go call me name. Let Desmond McKenzie tell the lie and tell me if the PNP is not under duty to give us clarity. If we form the next government, we will not run the program in the way that Desmond McKenzie explained it now. Listen to Desmond McKenzie and tell me if the People's National Party, who expect to become the new government after the general election, if they are not under duty to tell us, will you continue to run this exact program or will you scrap it and reorganize it?
The social indigent housing program of the government of Dr. Holness, and I'm really proud of what we have been able to accomplish and lives that we have touched and changed.
I'm happy that you've shed some light on it, and I would have wanted you to a little bit more into the program itself, since it was started by your ministry.
Okay, what the program does, as I said before, persons can apply. They are investigated by the poor relief officers. They must have the land to build the units. And once that is done, we now proceed after the investigation to see whether or not the persons are eligible. They meet the criteria which is set up, because you must be a part of a program that does not allow you on your own. And there are cases where we have provided houses for persons who probably are not that destitute, but because of their circumstances, we have provided for them. Now, the Poor Relief Department of the municipal corporations retain responsibility for the units.
Yes.
So while you occupy those units, the Poor Relief Department does its monthly checking on the units. You are not allowed to do any addition to the units. The units come fully furnished. It is something that I when I came up with the idea of furnishing the units, we did it because there are cases where we saw persons have homes, but there is nothing for them to sleep on. So we figured it does make sense to give you a nice room, and then you have to sleep on the cold ground.
Or furnish the...
So we provide the necessary furnishing for the unit. Right. Now, the unit cannot be rented. It is not for sale. No addition can be done to the unit. And the unit cannot be handed down to family. And we have cases where occupants have died, and the Poor Relief Department retains the unit, and then it is handed over to someone else who is in need.
Absolutely.
So what we do, and we encourage persons to take care of the units. We notice that a lot of all of our units are built from concrete, and it has been done deliberately.
Now, you heard the Minister of Local Government. Those were not my words. Those were not political propaganda from a political vlogger or broadcaster. That was the Minister of Local Government explaining how the project or the program operates. Within the minister explaining all that, does it matter, board or concrete? Yes, it does matter. You cannot build. When we get to Andrew Holness, I will explain to you why it matters, board or concrete. Morning, Lyndon. How you doing? You tell me, within all this explanation, we found out that something was horribly wrong. Poor people's lands are being whooshed away from under their feet by the program based on what the minister explained to us. We realize that there's a land theft because the minister says the first criteria you must meet is the ownership of land. Then the minister went on to tell us, when you die, once we build a house on it, when you die, we take control of the house because you can't add to it, you can't pass it down, and when you die, and we have done it in the past, he said, we take it and we pass it on to someone else we deem to be a suitable beneficiary. Don't you see a problem in that? The People's National Party, who expect to be our next government, is under a duty to tell the people of Jamaica, will they continue to steal poor people's land or will they scrap the program? Because this current program is engaging in land theft. The People's National Party is on their duty to tell us if they form the next government after September, the latest, if they will continue to run this said program or they will scrap it and reform it. They're under duty to tell us. So I don't like how PNP, no one PNP come here, come go on like, Mark Golden is doing awfully well. Mark Golden is dodging a lot of things. They're dodging, explaining a lot of things to us at the moment. And it scares me for somebody who said, we're come with a different style of leadership. We're come with transparency, integrity, and all that malarkey. Then it demands a level of information flowing from them to us. We don't have to compound with me. This is what PNP don't understand, that they're setting up the country for a President Andrew Holness. Not even the criticism they can take to get them acts together. These same disgruntled, disunited, take money to destroy PNP is going to do it all over again and going to hand this country to a president, dictator Andrew Holness. Mark my word, if PNP don't change their behavior, the way how them are going with them disgruntled, disunited galangin, the PNP must address this. Let's move on to Andrew Holness, and we're going to play 2 videos of Andrew explaining his galangin. Let's just listen to the first one.
So, yeah, you were asking about the social housing program. So the social housing program is designed to assist Jamaicans who are in the most difficult housing situations, meaning that their housing condition is such that it is considered to be unsafe, unhealthy, in a state of dilapidation, and their economic condition is such that they are not able to improve, upgrade, repair, or rehabilitate their housing They're not working. They are probably retired. They're senior citizens. All right. Or they're indigent. We also require that the beneficiary has access, owns, or has permission. All right. Or has permission to use the land on which the granted benefit will be built. So, how do you actually get on the program? The first point is through your member of parliament. It's an MP-driven program. All right. Bless. All right. So they will take your information. They are allotted 5 housing solutions each year for each constituency. All right, I hear you. And they then pass these applications on to the new social housing program, which is a unit in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation under housing. And that unit has an oversight committee which takes all the applications. They vet them and they do very thorough, very rigorous social investigation. So they actually come to your house or where you reside. They do a social survey. They talk to people in your community. They verify your employment status, your income status, your ability to work. They do a thorough check. And then after that process, they then verify that you actually either own the land or have access to the land or permission. And that would include bringing all the documentation and taxes up to date. And then from that process, it goes back to the selection committee to determine whether or not you actually pass the criteria. The whole process can take as short a time as 8 months.
Well, I mean, very country,
we have seen situations where the process is as long as 2 years. So there is some amount of patience required. We are delivering now approximately 5 to 6 units per week, and we are completing probably about 8 to 10 per week. The objective is to... All right! The objective is to increase the pace of completion and increase the pace of delivery. We're over 300 houses now, so I'm expecting that next year the program will have developed the horsepower to be able to increase the pace at which we deliver, so that more people can get their houses more quickly. All right, TikTok, good talking to you. I'm going to get back to some work now as we head to the next location.
Now, if you listen to that, you would say, backside. We ain't just tell a lie upon the Prime Minister. Nothing in what the Prime Minister said there would suggest that the Prime Minister program is involved in a land theft. You know this Prime Minister have many mouths. Countless mouths have the Prime Minister. And we're going to let the Prime Minister talk out of another mouth. And I'm give none of them, you know. Him walk and say mouth a dot and take up mouth. So we're going to make one more of the Prime Minister's mouth talk to you. Many mouths of Prime Minister Andrew Holness.
We build houses on lands that belong to the beneficiary. And I use the term belong in its loosest sense. So the beneficiary
belong to the beneficiary. Follow closely, because this is where the Prime Minister dropped the bombshell of his stolen land.
And as a cock crow,
symbolize betrayal.
The beneficiary must show with proof to the new social housing program that they have interest in the land.
Follow carefully. The beneficiary must show with proof, the word must, He did not say may, because may would fall in if they already have the land, and then if them don't have land, the government may could find them land. So the word must is important here. Continue to our Prime Minister.
In the form of a title which shows their ownership, or they have a lease in the land which shows
a title which shows their ownership, or that they have lease in the land. Continue, Prime Minister.
Shows that they have approval from the owner to occupy the land. And the
important word here, occupy the land, Prime Minister. Continue that.
Usually, we will accept leases that are considered long-term lease. Long-term leases are usually over 40 years, 50 years and more, because that ensures that the home that is built on the land stays with the beneficiary. So
the home that is built on the land stay with the beneficiary. We're zooming in here on leased land. Leased land. And the beneficiary is the person who is getting the house from the government. That's who he's referring to as the beneficiary. But look at the double-tided tongue.
The new social housing program does not as that ensures that the home that is built on the land stays with the beneficiary. So the new social housing program does not reclaim any house. Indeed, it couldn't, because once the house is constructed, it becomes the property of the person who either owns the land or has authority to use the land for the land.
Here is the big problem. The person who owns the land or the person who have right to use the land. All right? We cannot say, like in Desmond Mackenzie's case, where Desmond Mackenzie is stealing poor people land and take it into local government coffers. But what we can say of the Andrew Holness program is that the Andrew Holness program steal land from one poor people and give to another. Is that not what you heard in the explanation? Because the Prime Minister said we accept leased land as a criteria, 40 years or more. Let's major down to the 40 years, and the Prime Minister accept a leased land from Mass Tom, who leased Miss Mary land for 40 years. The Prime Minister, and this is where the board or wooden or concrete structure matters. The Prime Minister accept the piece of paper from Mass Tom children that I'm been permitted to use Miss Mary land for 40 years. The Prime Minister then went on, accept that, and build a concrete structure on Miss Mary's land. 40 years after, 50 years after, or 40 years after, 45 years after, the lease expires. The Prime Minister then goes on to tell us that the person who owns the land or the person who has permission to use the land gets the benefit. What confusion is that? You left two families in a bitter machete chopping or expensive lawsuit where by the time them done and them sell the land, it's only the lawyers will benefit. Why the PNP don't see this as anything for adjust and something for sure? We say, we will not operate the program like this. My 6 years of legal education, I've never learned so you can put such a structure, a concrete structure, and lease land. You cannot do that. I have never seen that. Because if that happens, it sparks a legal fracas immediately. Where if in England that the court will just give a mandatory to knock it down. The PNP have a duty as the next government in waiting to explain to us that we will not continue to rip off poor people. It is what we have found out that these programs are doing. I'm going to make Andrew explain himself again with me shutting my mouth.
We build houses on lands that belong to the beneficiary. And I use the term belong in its loosest sense. So the beneficiary, and I will talk to say that it is true. The beneficiary must show with proof to the new social housing program that they have
tap up the screen, tap up the screen, please.
In the form of a title which shows their ownership, or they have a lease in the land which shows that they have approval from the owner to occupy the land. And usually we will accept leases that are considered long-term lease. Long-term leases are usually over 40 years, 50 years and more, because that ensures that the home that is built on the land stays with the beneficiary. So the new social housing program does not reclaim any house. Indeed, it couldn't, because once the house is constructed, it becomes the property of the person who either owns the land or has authority to use the land for the long term.
You see, the either or the either even confuse the Prime Minister. If you notice when the Prime Minister gets to the either or the either part, it confuses him because the Prime Minister knows that he's darn well lying. The People's National Party, on the other hand, does not realize the Prime Minister is lying, does not realize that the Prime Minister is carrying out a scam on poor people. The People's National Party have not realized that. Because if they have, they would have addressed it in a meaningful way. They would have reassured the people that us, who is planning to form the next government, we won't go on a rant of stealing poor people's land, as Desmond McKenzie and Andrew Holness is doing at the moment. The PNP is lip shut on the nation, but is expected to return to power. The PNP is lip shut on the nation, but expect everybody to gather and scoop up and group up and give power to the PNP. Of course, there's so much of us that is tired of Andrew Holness. Of course, I personally want to see the back of this Prime Minister. Is the People's National Party doing enough to get rid of a crooked Andrew Holness, who has taken over the reins of power, the Electoral Commission, the political ombudsman, 49 thieves of them to overrun the legislature? They have given the People's National Party so much to take them and throw them up against the wall mercilessly, day in, day out. And they are rather silent. Shoo, shoo, buy a baby, go to bed, PNP. You all are silent because the disgrace that we as broadcasters see and speak about on a day-to-day basis, the PNP is eye winked and lip shut. Eye winked, PNP. and lip shot rather, on a left way to the mercy of a third term of Andrew Holness and a possible president, dictator, Dr. Andrew Michael, the disgraceful, dishonorable Holness. That's what the PNP is offering at the moment. Tough! If you PNP supporters don't like it. Get like an energy boy, like a sea mass and oats porridge and something good on a leader. Make on a leader realize say vloggers are not going to win the election for the PNP. Because some of the PNP vloggers them are as lie and propagandists as the JLP vloggers. They are not there to inform you, the Jamaica people, to make an informed choice. They are there to buttonhole political narrative in order to get your support. Not me. I'm not one of them. Mark Golden and the PNP is not doing an awfully great job as an opposition at the moment. Terribly well. Because the level of corruption, the level of treachery and thieves in this government, and the PNP are so silent in an election year when we find out the JLP have 2 programs run, a strip poor people's land. From what we can see, if the PNP don't put the division aside, buckle up themselves, and decide, let's be a Drayton Campbell. Because one thing you have to say with a loud mouth, man, without a loud mouth, Dr. Drayton Campbell, the People's National Party would still be on 12-15%. Because it's not the work of Mark Golden or a United People's National Party that has lifted the People's National Party back into the fold. There's 3 factions of the PNP. You have the one PNP. You have the Dayton and Golden them Campbell, which is the Rise United PNP. And then you have the Lisa Hanna fraction, which is the what do you call them? You know the part with the Karen Cross and them lot. The PNP resistant movement. These 3 factions are battling for hither and thither without any concern. People sitting in the middle of it that they are coming to ask for power for PNP carry out another 4 years of scandals and thievery and criminality at the helm of government. It's about time we hold both sides of thief to account and say, I heard Rhoda telling you all this morning. I heard Rhoda this morning on a TikTok live telling you, the Jamaica people, top fight over we. Most of we on both sides of the fence are very good friends. You silly bunch of twerps and twats. Every day sit down and fight over people, whereby guns and give to their dons and criminal to turn at you, silly Jamaican people. Anyway, tata, see you all later. We might come back for Drive Time London. You know, Drive Time London is noon, your time, I think, and 6 p.m. my time. Because Christopher Tufton say find land for build hospital for Portmore Parish. You notice this is all of the fracas and practice that's going on. The only thing the PNP really cares about is the Portmore Parish. Why? Because it's politically, the way it's been going, it's politically disadvantaged for the PNP. You notice another thing. Since the roast scandal and the Mercedes scandal. Meh, zip or lip, said the PNP. But you still want power. If you're failing to tackle corruption as an opposition, my God, when you have the power, I wouldn't like to see the behavior. Thank you all very much for being here with us this morning on the Global Television Group. Whether you like it or not, soothe you. Go and caress your ego. Put it on your knees and batter your ego to bed. All right? Thank you all very much for being here this morning. Join us back today for Drive Time London, and of course tonight for the People's Point of View. Thank you very much for watching. Good morning and good afternoon from Global TV.
If you don't like missing out on the latest shows but still enjoy classic hits, then Global TV Group 358 is your perfect match. Global TV Group 358 isn't just another channel, it's your ultimate TV experience. From breaking news to binge-worthy dramas and timeless classics, we've got it all. Our unique blend of original content and global favorites means there's something for everyone. And guess what? With GTVG's seamless streaming, you can watch anywhere, anytime. Plus, our interactive features let you be part of the action. So, whether you're a seasoned binge watcher or a casual viewer, Global TV Group 358 is here to keep you entertained day and night. Don't just watch TV, experience it with Global TV Group 358. Subscribe now and never miss a moment.